Hi, few days ago, the Lagos State Ministry of Environment decided to pull down some structures that were obstructing the waterways in Ikota, Lekki, a residential estate. Now, here's more information about this particular incident.
A few days ago, the Lagos Ministry of Environment began pulling down some structures along the drainage paths in Lekki. This is what is left of that area now. The demolition process is ongoing, and many of these valuable properties will not be spared. Understandably, residents here are not pleased with this decision.
My name is Adiola Sanusi. I'm the best real estate expert in Africa, bringing you the best deal in Lagos, Nigeria. Ensure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification button so you do not miss any of our weekly videos. Now, here are two major reasons why a property might get demolished by the government, especially in Lagos State. Now, number one, if it is under committed acquisition. Now, remember that whenever you're looking at the title of a property, is either it is under free acquisition or government committed acquisition. So if it is free, that means the government does not have any plans concerning that particular property. It is free for use. You can decide to process a valid title on that particular property. While if it is under committed acquisition, that means government has plans for that particular parcel of land, you understand? Now, while the second reason will be if that particular area is meant for a certain, facility, could be drainage, which is actually the case in this particular scenario, where this particular place is meant to be the waterway for drainage and for water to actually pass through in that particular estate. And we see that what they did was to close it up and they started building on it. And at the end of the day, we start complaining, we start seeing videos online about these estates, being excessively flooded during rainy seasons. And this is actually one of the major reasons behind that. Now, this is what the Commissioner of Environment in Lagos State had to say about this particular incident.
I can't compensate you for an illegality in the first place. You should even be compensating the government for letting me deploy taxpayers' resources to clear that part. And you listen to them. They agreed that yes, 3 years ago, it was not like this. But what were they doing? They went to sleep, they connived with those persons, and they closed up the channel deliberately. So now we have to open up the channel, allow the water to flow, and then we stop flooding of those 12 villages.
While the government is resolute in its mission, residents are urged to adhere to the state's rules to maintain a flood-free metropolis.
We can't be brazen in our illegality. It has to end. It's easier for people to blame government. How about what have we done on our part to save our environment? The environment is a master of man. You think you're cheating the environment, it's coming back to haunt you.
So when buying a property in Lagos or anywhere else, what exactly can you do to ensure you do not fall victim of this type of circumstance? So here are two major things you need to do essentially. Number one, you need to check if the property has an approved building plan. It's very important to be sure that the developer has gotten an approved building plan before they erect such structure in any place, before you decide to buy into that property. And number two, you need to get your surveyor. So I believe this is something that will be done with your lawyer, your legal advisor, and your surveyor. They need to go down to chart that particular area and be sure that the coordinates of the property physically, like they are going to take the coordinates on the property to be sure that it's actually in line with what you have on the survey document. It is actually very important you get that done. So for example, this particular property, one thing you see is when you check the survey of these properties that are currently being demolished, you see that in the survey that is originally laid down, there is a waterway that is actually meant to be right on those properties, which is why the government had no choice but to demolish them. So ensure you take note of all this before you decide to buy any property, and you can also reach out to us to consult as well before you make your buying decision. Thank you very much for your time. I remain Adiola Sanusi.